Hello, hello, hello. It's Holly Rustick here with Grant Writing and Funding, and I'm really, really excited because I get to interview another one of my students from the Freelance Grant Writer Academy. And I'm talking to Veronica Kulon today, and she is the CEO of VK Empowerment Solutions and just doing amazing things. You just joined in June, and we're in October right now, 2025. So amazing things in your business that we're going to talk about today. And the grants you've secured, over $1 million. You've already secured over $40,000 in clients. And you're like, literally, if you guys are watching this on our YouTube, Veronica's she's in the garage because she's going to a class because you're going to law school. Because why not? I
Right.
love this so much. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, super excited to have you here. And all right, so let's talk about you. Like you have a lot of passion. I've seen that like you're doing the things like you're working, you're going to law school, you have clients, like you have like big dreams and you are living them and I am all for that, like 100%. So, what's been going on like the last few years and what got you interested in grants?
So, ironically, I used to be a teacher. It was very different, but I still worked with low income communities. So, I saw a lot of the issues that the children and families had firsthand, but I didn't feel like I was having the impact that I really wanted to. And so, I decided to go into grants and to get training at that time, because that was about 13 years ago. There really wasn't a lot of structured programming. So I actually went back to school to get my master's in nonprofit management, and one of my classes was grant writing. When I finished, it was really hard to get into the field in a staff position coming back to Atlanta. So I started my business 12 years ago, informally part-time. So I've been doing it for a long time, but I didn't formally incorporate it until January of 2024.
Oh wow. Okay, so you're just like, okay. Did you have like the typical experience of like, oh, I know how to write grants like at a party or a fundraiser or whatever, and people are like, ooh, can you write this thing for me? Is that kind of how it was?
Oh my gosh, let me just tell you, I literally decided 6 months ago that I will never say that unless I'm around a group of my colleagues, because literally it doesn't matter if I'm at a conference, the grocery store, if they hear the words grant writer, can I meet with you? And you get all the questions, and yeah, it's kind of overwhelming.
I always say it's the best party trick.
Right, right,
You just and I'm like, people have gotten like clients at birthday parties, at funerals, at like all
right,
kinds of places. Because as soon as you throw out the word, people, I wanna meet with you. I know somebody, like, yeah. So
right,
now you're like, okay, I've got limited time, so I'm gonna say this like if people are serious to hire me. I
right,
love
right.
that. All right, so teaching and then nonprofit management. You went to school, and then you're like, okay, let's open this business. But you said it wasn't. It was just kind of like there. But what were you doing then? As other type of income during those about 12 years or 11 years.
So I started off doing some program positions in different nonprofits around Atlanta. It started to focus in on homelessness. And so then I had staff positions as the contract and grants writer for some of the larger ones here. And so I was responsible, ironically, mainly for government grants. That was my foray into grant writing, which is not normal in our profession. And I've done large foundations. So really kind of just getting thrown into it, but understanding the broad scope of different aspects of grant nonprofit management really helped me. And so when I got my first client, actually I used to work with the CFO when we both had staff positions up here. And when he went down to Jacksonville, he told the CEO, I will not work with anybody else but Veronica, because we just worked so well together. So
I love that so much. So you're currently also you have a part-time job as well, and then you started like tell me about your situation now. Like when you got well, let's kind of backtrack just a little bit. You got serious, like you said, I think it was 2023 about your business. Is that
yeah,
right? Did I hear that
yeah.
right? Okay. So what made the switch then?
Honestly, it wasn't just about money, although at that time I realized after talking to several people that had been doing it for years that I definitely wasn't being paid what I was worth, but it was also a matter of not really getting the respect for my input and my expertise. And so I was like, I just want to do this full time. I just want to be able to
Yeah.
do what I love to do, the way that I love to do it, and get that respect in the community. Yeah. So that was my goal. and there were a lot of barriers. I knew the structure of how to like get the business account and do the incorporation, but all the rest of it, writing grants is one thing, managing a business is totally different. So,
And then is that when you found the academy, or did you still kind of like, you know, go through the
so
process?
I found the academy in 2024. I wanted to join then, but I had to decide when you do something like joining your academy, it's an investment.
It
So I
is.
had kept putting it off, and then I'm like, the money that I'm spinning my wheels and not making the money that I should be making my business, that's something I could be investing. So I finally decided to do it, and I set aside that money, and obviously after what you said, you can tell that it was definitely worth the money that I put into this investment. But it was so much more than I thought it would be. In my mind, it was just like training modules and one-on-one mentoring. It's been so much more. So,
Love it. I love it. And then how has your business changed? Like you mentioned you were, like when you went full time, you were getting more serious about it, but like what was the real change then from going like more serious to then having support?
so I want to say it's it started with the mindset because I would,
Mm,
being on the board of the Grant Professional Association, I know a lot of other individuals, like probably the three most well known in Atlanta. They're colleagues of mine, and I would sit there and say to myself, I have the expertise they have, but I can't brand myself and I don't value what I'm doing. And I can't speak with confidence about what I can bring to an organization. And so being able to develop that mindset, but also have the very structured tools that I got from the business modules, especially the module talking about pricing, because a lot of people don't understand in their mind, like, oh, I'm just going to charge per hour what I was making, and you have to think about all the other things that need to be considered as far as costs. And so I really dug in and spent a lot of time doing that piece before going into the other modules because that was my main reason. I can always learn. I believe in lifelong learning about my profession, but looking at you and some of the other people that have gone through the program, I always tell myself that's goals. I want to be able to do what she does, but she has the knowledge. Like a lot of people don't understand that I can train someone how to write grants, but that skill of empowering and giving the information because it's not competition. We're sharing, we're making the field better.
I love that so much. And yeah, and I hear that a lot. I love doing these interviews with y'all because it's like I get to really go under the hood and like see, everything. And it's funny how often it's like, oh, was it the grant reviewer? And people are like, yeah, that was super helpful too. But really, I hear over and over again the mindset. And I love that. I like to go deep.
Right, right.
I call them like, let's go. And I know sometimes that can feel a little like, for people, but I'm like, until we get this, because what you're talking about over here, like it's about the pricing or whatever. And yeah, sometimes it's just there, that is strategy. But oftentimes it's like, oh, that's shielded by this other stuff we need to talk about
Right,
first about
right.
your thoughts around it, right? And did you feel like any of like, you mentioned like coming in from that nonprofit sector, coming in from undercharging and realizing you were when you went full time, like how has it been helpful with how we train about mindset to like come out of that a bit?
Um, I guess because everyone, including the mentors in the program, are very transparent about the journey that they had and that they still are on. And so people that were in the part of the mentoring that I'm in and moved on to the next level, which I plan on doing, acknowledging what the issue is, but knowing that if that's something that you struggle with, you may have to kind of fake it till you make it, until you
Mm-hmm.
really get those tools so embedded that it just comes naturally. Like right before I joined, I think it was a discovery sales lab, and I literally
Yeah.
used that script and had prepared myself um, for sales calls. And at first, before I went in the Slack channel, I was disappointed because I'm like, oh my gosh, I finally did all these things she said, and I'm getting these calls, and no one, signing my proposals and contracts, but they're interested. And the feedback I got from just even the other cohort members, and I remember one of my colleagues out here was saying to me, So did you really want them as customers? If they couldn't
Mm,
decide if what you were charging, because I definitely don't charge what I really could. I have it at a fair price, but that is the struggle because I've had clients in the past for short terms that eventually I would have to let go because it's just not sustainable.
no.
So it's not about like beating yourself up. Everything is a learning experience and everything is practice for the next thing. So yeah.
Yeah. And having those tools and getting comfortable, like sales calls, sometimes it feels weird, like until you learn how to do it. Like sometimes we just show up weird because
Right,
we don't
right.
know like the process. So yeah, so I love the discovery sales call out that we have because that helps you have a structure. And like you said, and you still may need to practice it, but at least you're like, okay, like now I have a structure, right? And now I have a way to have conversation and like how to sell this in a way and with a framework. So I love that so much. And then you have gotten clients since you've been in the program. So what has worked with getting them for you?
So ironically, I usually have good luck with getting referrals or being on the consultant list with you and then with GPA. But there was
Mm-hmm.
that disconnect because they would send an email and say they were interested, but I really didn't have a strong response. And I didn't have, like, I had Calendly, but I didn't have it set up where I was asking those, pre-call questions, just the simple fact of calling it a discovery sales call. Because if they don't click on it because they realize that is the purpose of this, because in the past, I've had people say, okay, and want to meet with me 3 times
Yeah.
and that's consulting at that point. So,
Yeah. They just want to pick your
yeah,
brain then. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
surprisingly, one of them, I do still sometimes feel comfortable when they ask me the price, but I pose it as packages. So I'm like, depending on what you need and what you and the board's capacity is, you could start here and eventually go to the monthly retainer. I actually, one of my clients is a 40-hour monthly retainer. The other one is starting off at 10, but they plan on moving to 20 by the end of the year. And so I'm very clear from the beginning. I let them know I'm passionate about what they do, that there's a process to it. I don't make promises, but
Yeah.
the information that I get from them and that I share with them in that initial call lets them know that I know what I'm talking about. Because I had a call yesterday. I don't even know how she got my information. She said, I was just searching and I've already interviewed 3 people and nobody really had any credibility. And I can just tell from the first 10 minutes that you know what you're talking about and just tell me how much, so she's about to sign the so I have another.
I
Yeah,
love it. Yeah, and just having that framework, having that confidence, asking the pre questions, like all of that sets you up for professionalism and will set you apart from other people who don't know what they're doing, right? Or
right,
who may know how to write grants, but they don't know how to sell their services, because
right,
that's not something we're innately born with knowing how to
right,
do.
right.
Like,
I tell
yeah,
people I'm not a salesperson, but I can sell a mission. So that's how
yeah,
I think about it.
yeah. Even because it can feel intimidating, right? But it's like, well, when you know your services are really going to help, like, look at you, over $1 million this year helping organizations. Like, that's life changing. Like, that's world changing, and we need to be out there talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, people need our services, nonprofits need our services, and especially in these times when things are changing so quickly,
Right,
they need to like lead their organization. They don't have the time or capacity most of the time to be able to keep up with all the grants and the changes and the things and how to keep getting money like you've done in
right, right.
2025, right? So they really, so it's almost like a disservice if we're not out there talking about our services. And you know what I mean? Like, it
Yeah,
really is like, yeah. And like when we can get underneath that and believe it and understand what we're actually selling, that's where it changes, right? That's
yeah,
where that kind of changes. So I love
yeah.
that. You have so much to offer, and there's so many people that need you right now.
It's been a tough year, but I'm all about pivoting, and that's one of the things I've raised large amounts of money before, but it meant more to me because they had lost so much money because of things that are going on. And so I was able to fill that gap. And there were organizations that were going to lay off a bunch of people. I mean, these are people's jobs. These are communities they're serving that they wouldn't have been able to serve. And so I feel like I have a responsibility to my
Mhm.
clients and the mission that they serve.
Absolutely. And I love that you've been able to still get money. Like you mentioned, like we're seeing that even in our numbers, right? We're seeing overall the number of grants secured last year in the academy were like over 138 million. This year it's been about 48 million. So huge difference, huge
Yeah.
difference. However, what's really interesting, Veronica, is I've also though measured how much money people have made in their grant writing businesses last year and this year. And last year was about 4.4 million around there. This
Hmm.
year, it's already almost, I think, 3.8 million, and we're
Oh,
not even
wow.
done. So
Awesome.
we're well on to like meet or actually overreach that, even
Yeah.
though we're securing fewer grants,
Yeah.
right? Even though we're securing way
Yeah.
fewer grants. So why is that? It's because we're still doing other things. We're still supporting our clients. They're still hiring us, even though
Yeah.
they might, there's not as many grants out there. Things have changed. And a lot of that was just because of the pause and all of the things, right? In the beginning of
Yeah.
the year. And now more grants are opening up. But that is to say, people will hire you even if you can't get them $1 million, but you did this year.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like they will because they need that. So I think that's just really interesting data for us to like ground ourselves into,
Yeah.
you know?
Definitely.
Yeah. Really cool, right? You're the first person I shared
Yes.
that with.
And
Yeah.
actually joining the academy and having this success in this amount of time is also perfect because this is the first time I'll be presenting at Grant Summit, which I actually wasn't even going to attempt
Yay.
because that makes me so nervous. But I'm co-presenting, and so like being able to be confident, I know that's going to make so much of a difference when I'm in the room. And even like I went to an AFP regional conference yesterday, and people, they remember me. I mean, when you present and you carry yourself a different way, they come
Mhm.
to you with more respect and camaraderie than, just going around and feeling nervous and who should I talk to. So it's not just the mindset, it's the way that I am able to carry myself, which actually
I
goes into
love.
other areas. So
Oh, that's so. Are you presenting in Baltimore?
I am. So it's also my first time going in person.
Oh, that's gonna be
Yeah.
so fun. I'm only doing the virtual presentation this year. I was like, next year I wanna go in person. But I went back in 2019 was my first year attending and speaking. So I was like you as well in 2019. And it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of people. Yeah, I'm excited for you. Yeah, and then you'll be able to meet up. So our coaches will be there as well, and we're having
Yes,
a
I
happy
saw
hour.
that.
Yeah. We got some swag. We got some merch for you guys. I'm really excited.
Nice.
Our first merch ever. We're working on right now. So yeah, you'll have something to walk away with. So yeah, that's exciting that we're doing. I'm not going to be there personally, but we'll have our coaches there, our students there. We're doing a happy hour. Yeah, you'll have fun. I'm like having FOMO.
Well, I'm
So,
not gonna lie,
but I'm
your coaches definitely represent you because at first, as someone who does training, I'm like, oh no, she went on vacation, goals, but what about, what's gonna happen in the meantime? But then getting on the call, I mean, they have the most awesome advice. They know that they followed what you taught them and they're able to then pass that on to us and understand it from a different perspective, and the encouragement and support, like in a staff position, no one ever comes out and says thank you for winning us $1 million, like congratulations on having this
yeah,
knowledge and getting this, like that encouragement alone, because working from home and being so isolated is difficult. So knowing that I can just reach out with Slack, with the coaching call. Yeah.
I love that. They're fantastic. I did an interview with somebody like last week, and the whole time this was hilarious. She was talking, Gwen this, D this, blah blah. She said not one thing about me. It's
Oh my
like
gosh.
that's when you know you have a good team. Yeah, I was like, it was all they make. Gwen helped me because she did this review on this pricing, and D helped me because she reviewed my grants, and this is how I succeeded in your program was because of your
Right.
coaches. And I was like, as a founder, as the head coach, that makes me happier than anything could to know
Yeah.
that like my program runs, like we train all the time, we meet, we're doing a retreat together, like they are embedded in the culture. We've created this culture and a community that it's good vibes, like we're all on the same vision, the same alignment. And but like you said, they have such different experiences that it's so cool to
Yeah.
bring those experiences to. and like cheerleaders, like I said, D's like a house cheerleader. Like amazing, right?
Right.
All the time, like a million emojis, like just on fire about everybody. Like I love it so
Right.
much. So good. I'm glad that you had that experience. Yeah, because when you joined, that's when I was like, okay, like we have our launch, and I'm off for a
Right.
month, but you guys are in good hands. But I could imagine how you're like, wait, I saw you. It was your face on the webinar, and now are you really in this program, Holly? And I am, right? But they definitely are too. So, okay, let's talk about law school for a second. All right. I want to talk about law school before we get off. So I know we've been up for a little bit, but I definitely want to so you have your business. It's definitely thriving. You're getting the clients, right? You have another client that could be coming on, and you're working and you're going to law school. So like, what is your future like with law school and your business? How does that kind of feel or be, or is it kind of just like, I don't know?
So law school, a lot of people ask me, so where are you going to practice? I don't really want to practice law full time. The main reason I started looking into law school is because a lot of the organizations I work with and the advocacy work I do really isn't going to push the next level until there's legal, well, you know what's going on right now. And so I actually already have connections with a lot of the organizations here that work in the social justice field that I'll probably be interning with. But having that knowledge from the inside and the communities really is extremely applicable to law school. And so even though it's a lot of work, but I'm going part-time, my goal has shifted a little bit. So I want to do my business full time, but eventually at some point, maybe in 5 years after I pass my bar, I want to have a staff of subcontractors that are doing the work. Like I have someone that I was able to bring on with the extra income, and I'm training her. She's doing my social media. She's awesome. Like she has the skills, okay? And she's younger, but that was my dream, is to pass that legacy. And then I want to do like more of the training and the public speaking and all that. I have to set that base. But yeah, that was something. Being able to advocate is one thing, but when you have a JD behind your name, you get certain doors open that you can't otherwise. And I just feel like it's the last level of advocacy, naturally that next step. So
I love that so much because yeah, you're right. Like I might have some friends who are lawyers, and I'm always like, okay, so how does this work? Or like we advocate together, we lobby together, because I have a
right,
for-profit business, I can do that, right? You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
So
right.
there's I'm always like, okay, Vanessa, like, what do we do? And she's like, all right, we're going to do this. And I'm like, all right. So, it definitely having that legal knowledge is so important, especially for advocacy. So I'm really excited that, yeah, that's how you want to lean in to continue to support nonprofits, because you're absolutely right. Like, that's going to open up doors. That's going to open up doors that could just be something completely different. And you have your for-profit business full time, so you could definitely tie those together. Okay, I was like, how does this work
Well,
together? I don't know. I
ironically,
don't
they
know.
just opened up that this last year. They just opened up Civic and Criminal Justice Institute, which is ran by the professor that founded Gideon's Promise. So we've already been talking about me writing grants for him, but he's like, wait until you finish your first year. But I'm super excited
Yeah.
because I knew about the organization, and I'm like, what an awesome fit. He does civil rights legal work, and he trains public defenders around the country.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm so inspired by that. That's amazing. Talk about goals. You got goals. I love it. And you're living them. That is so exciting. So exciting. Because it's usually this is what I usually have. We've had a lot of lawyers who were full time in practice, and then they like burned that business to the ground and they became freelance grant writers. So I was like, ooh, what's going on here? But I love that lens of like, but then we're always like picking their brains too. You know what I mean? I'm always
Right,
like on
right,
the
right.
call. A legal question, Alex.
Right. I
So,
will say, ironically, one of my classes is contracts, and I know my professor got tired of me asking. He's like, I can't give legal advice. And I'm like, but he said by the end of the first semester, you will know how to properly draw a contract. Because I can see already from different situations that have happened what needs to be in there that wasn't.
yeah.
Contracts are very important.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that so much. Oh, this has been so good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. But before we do, I just want couple of hot takes for you. What were 1 to 2, up to 3 things in the academy that have been changing, like life changing for you, for your business?
I want to say the business structure and tools, the feedback from the coaches, and the open channel to be able to ask basically any question, and the opportunities to network in a way that's transparent and vulnerable, but also empowering at the same time.
Amazing, amazing. I love that. And then you did say you waited. So I know we got a lot of lurkers out there too that have been on the list for a while, been following the podcast. And I get it. Like, you want to know what your investment is going to do. You want to know the results. Like, are you glad you came in now? Like, was this, you're like, okay, if you got anything to say for people who have been kind of watching it and going, I don't know if it's time to join yet.
Honestly, I wish I had joined sooner. My life probably would have been a lot different right now. And I'm one of those people, I believe in being an educated consumer, whether it's my client or me. And so I looked at different training programs, but what you offer for the amount that you offer it for, it's no comparison to what anyone else is
Yeah,
doing.
there's
And I'm not trying to give anyone shade. They do a great job, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not just about one-on-one. Like, those other pieces are so important. And again, I wish I had started sooner. The return on the investment that I made is far beyond what I would have expected.
I love it. I love it so much. Oh, so good. Okay, so Veronica, where can people find you?
So my website is www.empowermentsolutions.org, or you can find me on LinkedIn under Empowerment Solutions. Or if you want to look me up on GPA, you can see me on the list. Make sure I'm legit. And feel free to reach out to me, even if you're not a member of my chapter. I would love to answer any questions that anyone has.
Yeah, and you're on the Atlanta chapter, right? On the Atlanta
Yes,
GPA. Yeah.
yes.
Oh, so good. Have fun speaking at the conference this year. That's going to be so great to be at the summit. Definitely gonna have FOMO because you guys are gonna be hanging out. But once again, thank you for coming on today, sharing your experience. I'm so glad you joined the Academy. It's been such an honor to work with you and to continue to work with you. So I will see you back inside the Academy. Thanks,
All
Veronica.
right. Thank you.